privatized, and they cannot participate effectively in their privatization process. So what I suggested was that let there be, number one, a policy, and number two, a machinery to empower these people so that they can begin the process of participating very actively in the modern sector of this economy. But by that time, there had already been some kind of a unholy alliance between those who were benefiting from the system and foreign investors. So this thing was not very popular. I was attacked. However, time came when the government itself said, no, we cannot continue without empowering these people. So there was an Empowerment Act that came to Parliament. It is now an official policy of government. It's no longer a December affair, it's the state. The state itself has now recognized that there must be a move to empower people. But it's just a question of how do you actually execute this policy. The rest you know. When I was Minister of Trade and Industry, things were tough. The story is long, but I got involved in what they called a scandal with respect to sugar. We had a number of factories producing sugar, but then through trade liberalization, there were people who were importing sugar with tax evasion, unregulated, dumped into that market, and our factories producing sugar could not compete. So the government as a whole executed, or was trying to execute, a system of controlling sugar which was imported in order to enable our locally produced sugar to compete in that market. And I was responsible for executing that government decision. But then, politics. I was accused of corruption. I said, corruption. Corruption and EDC are two completely different things. We just cannot put these things together. I was a little angry. And I said, no, I cannot be associated with this kind of process. I tried to argue myself out of this, but time came when I had to give in. And I said, now I'm resigning, Mr. President. But then that was the time when the President himself decided he couldn't resign at that particular time, or rather my resignation could not take effect until I completed what I had already started in Doha. So there was this very strange phenomenon. I had resigned, but then I had to go as minister when I had already resigned, and I found myself really leading these negotiations that are very, very difficult. But I did them.
That's because you were the best informed person.
No.
Bearing in mind that we've reached the 2-hour